Good day, chaps. Well, yes, it's not 1913 anymore, it's the modern organisation. Here you can see Mary Ann applying for her first job at Manufacturing Enterprises. The organisation recruits candidates through word of mouth, and, of course, the telegram. Candidates are selected by their standing in civilized society. She may not have the qualifications, but gee whiz, she has a place in our hearts.
We've come a long way from subjective and biased recruitment and selection methods. The constructivist model for recruitment and selection encourages the candidate to engage with the employment process. This model views recruitment and selection as a series of social encounters.
Through this process, the candidate has a role in deciding if their values and aspirations fit with the culture and values of the organisation. This is the model we base our recruitment and selection process on. This ensures a better outcome for our company. The tests and research discussed will contribute to the reliability and validity of our recommendations.
But first, let's define some of the terms we will refer to in this presentation. Recruitment is the generation of candidates for a position. Advertisements on job search sites is a traditional method. Selection is the process of identifying the appropriate candidate from the group. The interview process is a highly utilized method. Social media allows for the sharing of information, ideas through an online medium. These can include Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter. Reliability is the extent that a technique or test is free from random error. This can be measured by test-retest reliability, which assesses the consistency of test scores measured at different times. Validity is a statistical tool to assess whether a test accurately measures what it is designed to measure. This can involve looking at the correlation between two tests to see if they measure the same construct.
This presentation is going to be split up into 3 parts: recruitment and social media, selection and social media, and a step-by-step process of recruitment and selection for your IT graduate position.
So, recruiting for your business? Well, think of it like a large fishing net. Cast it far and wide and get the fish you decide you want. Why not advertise in the newspaper? Or even the radio to appear more modern? Young Billy McGee found his job through the radio, and wowee, is he happy. With radio waves, the sky's the limit. Watch your business boom.
Current methods of recruitment include advertisements in newspapers, internet searches, and job fairs. Social media for recruitment has the potential to advertise to a larger and more specific audience, build positive attitudes towards a company, accelerate data collection, and recruit harder to reach populations.
Kerala, Austis, and Grigori conducted a Facebook recruitment study. The study was a 2x2 factorial design with Factor 1, sponsorship activation, and Factor 2, sponsorship focus. Participants' attitudes towards the company were measured. Results indicated that applicants were more likely to have favorable attitudes towards the organization if the mode was cognitively active and brand focused. According to Kerala, Austis, and Grigori, cognitively active tasks could take the form of, and not limited to, animations, videos, and promotional initiatives. Madia conducted a strategic HR review, examining the most effective practices in social recruitment. The employment of novel interactions is supported by Madia, who states that candidates are looking for personality and interesting content. The scope for creating cognitively engaging and interesting content crosses into many different social media fields. YouTube videos, Instagram photos, and short Vine videos linked to Facebook are interesting and engaging mediums that promote the brand as modern and progressive. This is especially important for an IT company to promote itself as technologically up to date. The research also outlines short-term costs such as hiring a graphic designer and ongoing SM maintenance, but that these will be outweighed by the long-term benefits of better employment job fit.
Such an innovative video. It will be a dream to work for you guys.
Social media for recruitment has potential, and research tentatively suggests its use. An engaging social media presence for an IT position is strongly recommended, particularly as social media is a component of an IT role. Recruitment for the position should be advertised on the company's social media website. Twitter accounts such as Tweet My Jobs and LinkedIn are good professional starting points, but Facebook, Twitter, and Google Plus should also be utilized. Engaging job advertisements should also be utilized for the position. YouTube videos exploring the organization and job role, or engaging Instagram and Vine bites, all of which can be linked to Twitter, Google+, Facebook, and LinkedIn. These are relatively inexpensive options and promote the organization as modern and innovative, which is important for an IT company and would improve the profile for prospective clients. The potential cost, as stated by Nadia, will come from hiring a graphic designer and updating the social media pages regularly. This would be an ongoing process, as social media pages that are perceived as out of date lower the profile of the organization. An application form for the position should be linked to the corporate profiles, and the online data can be collected for future selection and recruitment. Data mining has long-term benefits for companies as they uncover meaningful patterns and rules for future recruitment. Advertising the position on traditional job search sites is recommended with a sample link to the social media pages for more information. This process should create a pool of candidates that are appropriate for a graduate IT position.
So, got an interview, do we? Make sure you make your interviewer laugh. Nothing is less attractive than boring, dap candidate. No matter how qualified you are, you're always going to be selected on your relationship with the boss. So, come on girls, show a bit of leg.
This is clearly not a selection tool that predicts job performance. There are a number of different selection methods that are reliable and valid tools for candidate selection. But can social media assist in this process?
Ryan and Ployhart found that perceived validity, or the perception that the selection tool was fair, was important for candidates when applying for a role. Madera conducted a 2x2 factor design, where factor 1 was the use of social media as a selection tool, and factor 2 was the purpose of selection. Results indicated organizations that use social media as a selection method were perceived as less fair than organizations that did not, and had less intention of applying for a job that used social media as a selection tool. Social media had a moderate negative effect on perceived fairness and a moderate negative effect on intention to apply, suggesting that candidates will perceive your organization as unfair and unlikely to apply if social media is utilized. Organ and Ryan found that perception of fairness of an organization was correlated with organizational commitment and job satisfaction. Organizations must be careful to promote fairness to the workers, as not doing so could be detrimental to the performance of the company. Due to the varying levels of privacy settings on social media, it would be near impossible to assess candidates on equal terms. And although Kane et al. Found 89% of program directors believe particular social media posts are fair game for judgment on character, it is unknown whether assessment of this type of information is actually a good predictor of job performance.
Thanks for coming in, Suzanne. Looking at your resume, sounds like you have the right qualifications for the job.
Thank you. It sounds like such a great opportunity.
Although judging by how late you stayed out last Saturday night, I'm not sure if this is the sort of employee the company is looking for.
The Privacy Act 1988 outlines how private data can be collected and used. There are strict codes to what information can be collected and whether organizations must disclose they have collected that data. Data can be collected if the information is deemed relevant to the purpose of the organization. However, due to the randomness of information from social media, this could leave your organization open to legal issues. Under the various discrimination acts, any information you gather about cultural backgrounds, sexuality, or disability may leave a candidate feeling they have been discriminated against and led to legal ramifications.
The research is largely inconclusive regarding the use of social media as a selection tool. We recommend the use of traditional selection methods. According to Schmidt and Hunter in 1998, a general mental ability test has the highest multivariate validity for job performance when in combination with the following 3 selection methods. Firstly, a work sample test, where a participant undergoes similar tasks to what they will be performing in the job. Secondly, an integrity test, where they measure the honesty and loyalty of an applicant. And thirdly, a structured interview, where they use behaviourally anchored rating scales to measure answers to set questions.
The 2 latter combinations are also specifically beneficial for entry-level positions, and particularly advantageous for the hiring of graduate IT positions. The tests are coupled with general cognitive ability tests, which further validate future job performance, as the applicants may not have previous work experience.
Step 1. Advertise the position. This should involve a multi-dimensional approach utilizing the company and other organizations' social media networks. Include a strong social media presence moderated by human resource on Facebook, Twitter, Tweet My Jobs, LinkedIn, and Google+. The advertisement should be engaging. Use a YouTube video that explores the company and specifically the different roles an IT graduate is expected to engage with, focusing on the brand of the company. Use an online application form linked to the company's social media page. Make the application extensive enough to discourage applicants that are not serious about the role. Advertise on university social media pages and websites. This targets graduates interested in the role. Step 2. Screen out applicants using the application forms that do not meet the KSAOs required for the job. The knowledge, skills, abilities, and other characteristics should be based on a thorough job analysis. Conduct structured interviews and integrity test. Validate the recruitment and selection process. Use the data collected from the online screening, compare the data to job performance, which can identify if the process was successful.
This process uses a constructivist model for recruitment and for selection. A better candidate job fit will result in a better outcome for your organization. Anyway, make up a way, time to get back to work.